Hey, SouthRidge, Pastor Brent here. It is April 24th, 2020, and I'm just coming to you with another COVID update. Can I ask you a question? Who's tired of this crisis? I mean, by now you've probably tried all those new things you wanted to try, or maybe even rediscovered some of the old things that you've done before, like puzzles or Sudoku, or I bet you there's a lot of well-kept gardens right now. Even baking. I mean, who knew that sourdough bread would be a thing that people would want to try? Or trying new things, or one of the other temptations when we get tired is just to get lazy, like me. Yeah, I haven't shaved for a couple weeks now, and I realize that may not be a good thing because I seem to be touching my face a lot more now than I used to, and during the COVID thing, not a good thing. So I guess I'm just going to leave you with a mystery. You're going to have to tune in Sunday and to answer the question, will Brent shave before Sunday or will he leave it to grow? And if that's the most exciting thing for your weekend, I'm sorry. That's just not a good thing. But speaking of Sundays, last Sunday I had the opportunity to be like you and participate in our services at home. And I just wanted to say a huge thank you to our worship teams and our production teams who've been working to put on these live services. They've been doing a fantastic job. Thank you to each one of them. And if you know who they are, maybe you could reach out and just send them a note of thanks, text them, message them, say, hey, thanks for all the effort you're putting in, because they are doing a great job of allowing us to come together and to celebrate big on Sunday mornings. Last week, I mentioned that we would be giving out a financial update, and we emailed that out. And so if you haven't received that email, check your spam folder or talk to your spouse. If you've got one, maybe they got it. And if you still don't have it but would like to receive it, can you just email admin@southridgefellowship.com. That's admin@southridgefellowship.com, and just ask for the giving update, and we'd be happy to share it with you. As I've been thinking about the last few weeks, I think sometimes we can get stuck into a rut where we go and wonder whether God is working or not, because we don't get a chance to come together and share God-working stories and see amazing things happen. And so I just wanted to share a couple of things that I've seen over the last couple of weeks to encourage you in the ways that God is working at SouthRidge and in SouthRidge and through SouthRidge. One would be the benevolence offering, and we mentioned it in our giving letter, and we just want to thank you for those of you who have given and been generous that way, because it has put us in a position to be able to help those who are truly in need. And second has been, over the last few weeks, a number of people have approached us about wanting to be obedient to Jesus' command to get baptized. And so over the next couple of weeks, we're figuring out how to do COVID baptisms. And my hope is that we will be able to share those baptisms and the testimonies during a few of the Sundays in May. And so look forward to that, and it'll be great to see how God is working in people's lives and as they share their testimonies and be obedient to Jesus in baptism. In saying Sundays and talking about Sundays, I just want to remind everybody that as we are currently not allowed to meet, we will continue not to meet, and it will continue at least until after Mother's Day, which is the second Sunday of May. I don't know about you, but I've been dealing with a very weird dynamic over the last few weeks. One, we're dealing with a crisis, we're making decisions, we're changing up things, trying to address things, trying to live in a new reality. And it's all about the immediate decisions. But on the other hand, there's still planning that needs to take place. And this past week, I was working with Paul and Nate from our staff as we were trying to figure out how to put a budget together for next year already, and a normal thing we do at this time of year. And looking at what could happen and what might happen and what wouldn't happen and who knows what would happen. And part of it, we just talked about, this is hard because we can't see that far ahead and we have no idea what's going to happen. And as I was thinking that through and we were talking about it, a couple of things just struck me. One, this just a reminder that even though we don't know what's going to happen, God does. God knows what's going to be happening in the fall and next year. And it was also a reminder to me that over the whole entire course of our church's history, God has always been there for us financially. He has always given us what we've needed. He's always provided us exactly what we've needed. Very rarely does he give us more than what we need. And so as we go into budget thinking, as we go into this crisis thinking about what we need financially, I'm confident that God's going to give us what we need. And as I thought about it, I've been talking to our staff in these crazy times. We have to change how we plan. We have to change how we minister. We have to change how we approach things. No longer is it really easy to set a goal and then just work towards that goal. We have to become way more adaptive. And so as I've been talking to our staff about being adaptive and looking at what lies before us and the opportunities that are there to try and recognize those, it's kind of like the idea of if you've ever gone in the wilderness and tried to walk in the wilderness where there are no paths, but you have a destination to get to. You really have one of two choices. You can either bushwhack to that destination, get out your machete, your chainsaw, your axe, and try and cut down trees and cut your way through things to get to that destination. And sometimes you run into problems you can't even get around, and it takes a lot of energy. Or there's the other way, to look at the terrain, try and read where the paths would naturally go, and follow the terrain and get to your destination. And so that's kind of what I've been encouraging our staff to do, to look at the terrain, to look at the opportunities that are being provided to us by God, and then to press into those things. It's kind of like living by faith. And living by faith as a Jesus follower is never a bad thing. So as you continue to live by faith through this, I encourage you to press on, continue to look for those opportunities God is giving you, and we'll see you on Sunday.